Good morning, everyone. I'm Romain Poirot, partner at Frenchly Media. If you just found out about us today, we are the leading publication for Americans in love with French culture. During this session, we will see how we are the leading publication for Americans. We should relocate to Batignolles, the 17th arrondissement, Paris' new, hip, and family-oriented neighborhood. We have guest speakers. Some of them, you may be familiar with them. The first one is Rebecca and Cécile from La Preschool de Batignolles. La Preschool de Batignolles is a bilingual international preschool in the heart of Batignolles, in the Paris 17th arrondissement, as they call it. They welcome families from different nationalities and offer very best of what the early years has to offer with their in-house blended of French, American, and British curriculum. We'll follow Manuel Ravier, founder of InvestissementLocatif.com. Manuel is a French entrepreneur and real estate investor. His company, with about 80 staff members, has now helped clients invest over 100 million euro in Parisian real estate and French real estate. Last but not least, we'll have Delphine Brière from My Paris Touch. Her mission is to facilitate and settling down in Paris and help Americans organize their new life without stress, saving time and energy. So Rebecca already shared her screen with us, so she will start the presentation, and feel free to ask questions. We received already a couple questions by email, so I'll ask them at the end, but feel free to raise your hand on Zoom, and I'll give you the mic so you can ask your question live, or the Q&A, Q&R at the bottom of your screen on Zoom. If you're on YouTube, I will also see all your questions, and on Facebook as well. So feel free to ask any questions live today. Rebecca, the floor is yours. Let us know about the preschool of the Batignolles.
Yes, in fact, Romain, I'm going to start, then introduce the plan, what we wanted to share with everybody today. Then good morning, everybody. My name is Cécile. I am the founder of La Preschool, the group. Then we have two preschool, one nursery and one preschool in the 17th. We opened the first one 17 years ago. Rebecca joined us 6 years ago, and we are welcoming children from everywhere. In fact, we already hosted more than 35 different nationalities. But before talking about our two schools, maybe we thought that it could be of interest for you all for us to present you the whole view of the education sector in Paris. Then there is
perfect idea. I'm sure everybody wants to know more about the global aspect as well. You go ahead.
We in France, it's quite new for having a private sector to raise the under 6 children. Then we have the private sector and the public one. The difference is depends on the age of children. Then before 3, we are talking about crèche, childcare, nursery schools. And after 3, the school is mandatory. Then we talk about preschool, which we called école maternelle. The main difference could be, if we want to summarize a little, would be the quantity of pupils front of teachers, which means that, for example, for public school, it's very common to have that there are more than 25 children in a classroom with only one teacher, and private sector tries and does things differently. Then, for example, we have 2 teachers for never more than 15 children. There is along those in the sector, there are also the agency for hiring nannies, and very often foreign people coming from abroad choose to make a mix of this, then a collective solution with a nanny to get the best of the 2 solutions, flexibility and a solution quite professional. I think I'm going to give the parole, to share the parole with Rebecca, who is going to tell you the 3 main criteria to what is important to have a look when you will choose your solution.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rebecca. I'm the director of the preschool group, so just underneath Cecile, our founder. And as she mentioned, she's going to hand over to me so that I can talk to you about the quality gap between the different offers that are available for children under the age of 6. So 3 of the main areas that you as parents would need to pay attention to are child safety, so having a skilled and motivated team and stable employees and adaptable place. Child development, so workshops that are working towards making sure that children achieve their developmental goals, and also the service to the parents, so flexibility, attention, and to be able to offer you exactly what you need within that as well. A little bit about our schools is that we are new schools for a new world. So what that means is that we provide a high level of schooling according to standards. As Cecile mentioned, we have a nursery school, which in France is called a crèche, and it's for children between 1 and 3. And then over on the other side, we have the preschool, which is a maternelle for children 2 to 6 years old. As she mentioned previously as well, we cater to a huge international base at both preschools. So as she mentioned, we range right the way across the world for all children, some of which have been exposed to France before, the French language and the French culture. Some of those have not at all. Some of those children have never been exposed to English or French, and it's a completely new experience to them. So taking on the 2 languages at the same time is often quite a worry for parents, and it's a common myth as well that it could affect childhood speech, but it actually doesn't. It does the complete opposite. So that's one of our main points in being able to offer the 2 languages to children of a young age. We have an innovative ethos to nurture children's needs. So that's inspired by pedagogies from all over the world. While we're not a Montessori school, we take Montessori approaches where necessary, the same with Reggio Emilia and the curriculums in that we follow as well. I can't see that last one. So unique, we have small class sizes, as Cecile mentioned. We have 2 teachers, a French and English teacher present all the time in both classes. So the ratio works out then for about 1 to 7, which is a really, really small class size of less than 15 children per day. We are global care for children and their parents, so coaching children and also offering parental coaching and support to parents and families as well in whatever areas that they may need. So that comes with whether it's sleep training, whether it's finding a primary school after children were to leave the maternelle, whether it's support in finding a nanny that's best suited to your family, whatever the case may be, we're there to support. And we are also an indoor-outdoor school as well. So both of our preschools have 50% of the day outside and 50% of the day inside, and that is whether it's rain or shine. So as we're just coming through the slides here, our creche is La Preschool de Tern and Ursule Zoe, and we welcome children from 1 to 3. We're based just next to Tern in the 17th arrondissement, and we have a devoted team of up to 7 professionals committed to the well-being and safety and development of your little ones. Flexible agenda for parents to decide, so whether you were looking for mornings, afternoons, or a full day, and we open all year round aside from public holidays. And again, we're bilingual, so the children experience 1 week in English, 1 week in French. And that's not to say that the children are not exposed to both languages consistently throughout the day, they are. However, 1 week is led primarily in English and 1 week is led primarily in French, and that's across the board for the preschool group. Okay. Now, the Preschool de Batignolles is based in Batignolles, in the heart of the Batignolles, right next to Square de Batignolles, which is the area of space that our children go to for outdoor learning. Again, we have one-to-one teaching in academic topics, less than 15 children with 2 teachers per day, half of the day spent outside, and we are a bilingual international school. Now, the curriculum at La Preschool de Batignolles is split between the French national curriculum and the British Early Years Foundation stage. And the reason for the blend of curriculums and not just the blend of languages is that while what one may lack, the other one makes up for. And it really does help those international families moving into a new curriculum in a completely new area to help those children settle in a little bit easier by making sure that we can achieve their developmental goals and their learning skills.
Yes. Thanks to our experience for years, we are always happy to share our carnet d'adresse with families arriving here, and to also help them to connect with each other. And we think, and we can see that they do appreciate this, and we are very happy to do it. In fact, it's a great part of the job to see people quite lost, not lost, but it's always difficult to settle in a new country with a new culture, and people could find a real support to meet each other and to have us, in fact.
It's one of our core reasons as well, is to build that community feel between all of the families here as well, because I myself have been an expat several times, so has Cecile, and we know just how difficult it is moving into a new country where perhaps you don't know what the system is like, you don't know what kind of education to expect, you don't even know perhaps the best places to go or what to look out for, or how to find a doctor. And so one of the main things that we do here is, aside from just being a school, we open that community feel. So we're here to assist parents and offer additional help in all of those things. We host regular coffee mornings for parents to get together to meet one another and discuss a range of different topics, not just from education, but it can be something as simple as what did you watch on Netflix last week?
And we try to stay very available, and we are very available to help, in fact. If you do, thank you for your attention, and if you do have any questions, obviously there will be a time to answer now, and we will let you contact details for you to catch with us.
Yep. Thank you so much, Rebecca and Cecile.
Sorry for my level of English.
No, you did great.
No worries. We received a couple questions. Just to make sure we're good with time, I think I'll ask them at the end, so if you don't mind. And everybody will have to stay until the end to get your answers then. We're gonna switch to Manuel, who's gonna tell us how we can buy, invest in real estate in Paris. Hi, Manuel, how are you? You're on mute, so if you can just activate your mic and the screen share. Stop sharing. Okay, perfect. And we got the screen share of Manuel. I lost you. I lost your sound, Manuel. Delphine, maybe?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Okay.
Okay, does that work?
Yeah, Manuel's back.
Is it okay?
Perfect.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Oh, we lost you again, Manuel. The mic is cutting off. I don't know why. Okay, we got you back. No, off again. Interesting.
I think it's okay right now. Is it?
Okay, we're good. Yeah, we're good. And you can do your screen share again.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So I will speak about how to buy real estate in France and the specificity of the French market, French real estate market. So my name is Manuel, and I get a degree in real estate law and business law. I have 10 years of experience in real estate. I own 150 properties for myself as an investor, and I'm a co-founder of a group, like entrepreneur of investissement group, which help people to invest in France with a turnkey service to find flat or building, to renew flat or building, and to rent flat or building. With my company, I have a partner, and we are 200 people, and we made invest more than 400 million in real estate in France, which is like around 3,000 deliveries in 10 years. And we operate in like 20 regional locations in France. So why should you invest in real estate in France? You should invest for a lot of reasons, but first, because we have a very resilient real estate market. Why is it resilient? Because like we have a secure employment market, we have unemployment protection, which protect people in crisis, in like market crisis, and like we have attractive interest rates and a constant and secure price evolution, as you can see on the graph below. So why should you invest in France? Because like we have very good conditions for loan rate, better conditions than in US or in UK. For example, right now for long-term loan, we have a fixed rate of 4%, around 4% on a 20 years loan. In US, for example, it's around 8% right now for long-term loan, and it's more like a floating rate in US, which is like less, which is like worse when the market is bad for mortgage rates. We have a good protection for borrower in France. For example, if like the loan rate will go down, that will probably appears in next years, you can negotiate it with like very little fees in France because it's on the contract, it's something legal. So for example, you can borrow money today for like a 4 or 5 loan rate. But if the loan rate down in next years, you can negotiate it for little money and go down from 4% to 2%, for example. A lot of people did that in the last 10 years when the loan rates went down. So if you want to take advantage of a bank credit in France, you can do it even if you are like a foreigner, even if you are like a US person, you can take some money from the French bank. We can help with that. And the condition will be like 40% of contribution. Because you are a foreigner, the bank asks more contribution. So for example, if you want to invest like 500,000 euros, you need 200,000 in cash, and the bank will borrow 300,000 if you put that. You will have like condition like I told you, like for long-term loan, which is around 20 years for French loan, usually. You will have like between 4 and 5% as a foreigner for the rate, and you can negotiate it in next year if the rate go down. And the condition for the debt raise has to be seen like by our partner if you want to invest. So you can contact me after the webinar, and we can study your own situation because each situation is different for the debt. Right now, if you want to have like some average prices, which is like average because depends of the corner. Paris has very different corner. You can buy cheaper flat in the east or in the north, and you can buy more expensive flat, for example, in the 7th, close to the Eiffel Tower, or in the 6th, or in the 16th, or in the 17th, which is a very good corner. Batignolles is a very good corner for living, but it's not the cheaper one for sure for real estate. For example, this is kind of price depends places for like a turnkey flat, which is like a flat with our company, like buy the flat, pay the notary fees, pay the renovation for renovate flat, and pay the furnish. So for a turnkey flat, we can do this kind of price in Paris, like for a studio flat, it's like 260,000 euro. For 2-bedroom flat, it's like 500,000 euro, and for 3-bedroom flat, for example, you can have it for 900,000 euros. Depends of corner, and we can speak more about that if you want to have more information after. I put some prices on Côte d'Azur because we saw that a lot of foreign people and a lot of people from US person love Paris and love the Côte d'Azur, like Nice, Saint-Tropez, like to have a house. So you can see some prices there for villa with pool, around 1 million. We can do stuff. So for example, if you want like to buy that, you need like 400,000, and the bank will borrow you like 600,000. Yeah, it's just example. And if you want more, and if you want to invest in France, if you want to have more information, sorry for my English, you can just contact my team, and we will be happy to take time for a free meeting with you, giving you more information, more example, depending of your weight, what you want to buy. And I'm very happy to make that today with Romain because like it's my first webinar in English, Romain, and we work with Romain for 7 years. So
Yep.
we make
correct.
a lot of webinars in French.
And we've been pushing Emmanuel to do webinars in English, and I'm glad that he accepted to do one today. So thank you, Manuel, for switching to English today for us. We've been working with Manuel for 7 years, as he said. He helped a lot of readers from the few publications of French Morning Media Group, Frenchly. I've heard very good feedback so far. So feel free to scan the QR code and you can have an appointment with his team. All right. We got a couple questions. I'll keep them to the end so we can hear about Delphine and how she can make your life easier relocating to Paris and the Batignolles.
Okay, I will start my slideshow. Just a second. Okay. Yes, partager. Okay, so and now, so Delphine Brière from My Paris Touch. So I am like what we call a relocation agent, and I help people to settle down in Paris, looking from, it started with home finding, and then I start them to settle down with the usual things like utilities, internet, home insurance, and everything to start your life in Paris. Even what you say, I will let you know about the housing in Paris, but also opening a French bank account. I know that I'm because it's not so easy, so I'm helping with that. And yeah, so regarding the first step, so immigration will be obviously the first stage, so step when you are thinking to moving in Paris. So I'm not expert, but I have a bit of knowledge, but most importantly, I have the good person to make you contact with if you want to have some help. But there are people who are doing on yourself, and I give some some resources of very good information from the states, from the government, but there is also another link I highly recommending is very good resource to help you to find out which visa you can request and how to do that. So be careful also, because there are some relocation agencies that say they will help you, but I have some clients who were very disappointed and lost some of the money. So it's better to have someone who is very specialized in this area and has a lot of knowledge. And maybe if you, depending on your case, maybe you can go to a lawyer. So the next step, maybe it's important to learn some French before to come. And so because Paris is a cosmopolitan city, it's very international, but you may have some difficulties in, for instance, with the public services, or when you are going outside of the very touristic area. Batignolles is very trendy, and there is a lot of American people now moving there, but maybe not everybody is speaking English. So I give some resource. Again, it's a blog post. I work myself or with a French school, and we're giving some tools and some tips to start to learn French when you are not yet there. So next step will be the housing. Is my more my expertise. So it's very important to know that renting, because I'm not helping people to buy, but more to rent a flat. And the rental market in Paris is not the same maybe as the one you know in the US, for instance. And now it's quite difficult. We have a bit of difficult year. I hope it will be only temporary. And so there is some things you have to know when you want to rent. The budget, you have to fix it in advance, and you know that in France it's very strict. Your budget has to be 1/3 of your income. And then normally you have to use guarant, and it's French guarant has some from some agency, they are preferred guarants, but now we are also open to the new type of private guarant, and that could be very helpful for American people who are not yet very have some family or some people who can guarant for them. And so I give some tips is to come to in Paris for a weekend or a long weekend, and start to explore the neighborhood, and why not the Batignolles, to find out if it's a place you can find something we will match to your requests and needs. And then you can work with that. So I give some tips again, and there is some blog post, also a guide I wrote that was give you a lot of details how to search and how you can do that. And my some tips again to help you to maximize your chances to get a flat. So I will not read everything. I will make at disposal the slideshow. You can have it. I can share it if you send me an email. I can share it to you. But yeah, it's very important to be prepared, to have all the documents ready, and because the application file is something very important in the housing sector in Paris. The real estate agent and even the landlord will require a lot of documents that sometimes you will find it's a bit exaggerating, because it's very personal, but it's the way we are doing that in France. It's and it's very important, as the market is very tight nowadays, is to speak to your research to everybody you know, because you never know. Sometimes can know someone who has just have a tenant that's went and is a flat to be open, and you have to speak to everyone you know. And so then I spoke about the French bank, opening a French bank account. it's it's very simple in your country, but in France everything is taking time and has some difficulty. And so normally to open a French bank account you have to have an address, and to have an address, to have a flat, to rent a flat, you have to have a French bank account. So it's the ends and eggs situation, but there are some solution. And maybe to start with, to be sure to have be able to start the WISE solution has been proved by my client to be very useful. And so an online neobank could be for me it's a transitory solution. Then I will really recommend to my client to get a French bank account, but maybe as it's not so easy, maybe to start with a WISE could be an easy solution. So then it's about how I can help you in your relocation project. So I can help you, as I told you before, with the housing problem. So to find a rental and to settle down, to have I'm taking care of the utilities, of the internet solution, the home insurance, and everything that the lease, to be sure that if you are not speaking French, that you know where you are going to. And I'm helping really with the settle down. I'm taking care also of some administrative task, as to get a security social number if you are entitled to one. If you have I can help you to provide that, and any other things that are very difficult for foreign people, even for French people. I think sometimes paperwork can be a nightmare, so I am helping with that. And what I'm helping also, it's make your life easier. Like Rebecca and Cécile mentioned, it's very important when you are changing your country to have some help, and maybe to have someone you can trust to give you the best recommendations. So I can help you for any services you need, to be sure you will find the good person, and also to help you with that, to the very small details to the big problems. So I'm solution provider. It's really what I am doing. I am always have challenge for my clients. I'm always find a solution to help them. So that's my role. So the last is not the least is my contact details, and I can offer you a consultation call to check if I can help you, and to give you some advice to start your relocation project. So I think I'm done.
Thank you, Delphine.
Yes, welcome. I will.
Okay, I cut it. So you know we're good. So we have everybody back. You can unmute yourself if you wish. So now it's time to ask questions. So if you have questions, it's time to ask them now. Please come back, ask questions now if you have any, because in 10 minutes it will be too late. So we have Michael. We're going to start by a bit of a congratulation. Great job, Manuel. Your English is wonderful for your first time. Voila, this is done. So we received a couple questions by email as well. So how is healthcare in France? Can someone sum up briefly how is healthcare for an American moving to Paris, Batignolles?
Sure, perhaps I can answer, Delphine.
Yes, I can answer because it's something I'm doing every day for my client, to help them with the healthcare system. So if we want to join the Security Social, there is some, you have to be French tax resident, and so very based in France. And normally you have to be like a worker. So if you have a permanent work situation, like a contract with a French company, you can have entitled to the Sécurité sociale, or if you are entrepreneur as well. And in some cases, if you have, for people who are in the social network, if they have also entitled to what we call CMU. There is discussion now, they want to cut it, but for now it's still there. And it's, you have to, there is still this 3 months time when you are moving in France. You have to be there for 3 months, full months, before to be able to request the Sécurité sociale system to be enrolled.
Do you know if the French healthcare system is tough with people with pre-existing conditions, or do they heal everybody for free?
The social security system is asking you 0 question about your situation. It's not something we're doing in France. But then if you have a private insurance, I know that for mutual, I don't think they ask any question. When you ask for a mutual, you can have it independently. It's covering a bit more than the Sécurité sociale. And I don't think they ask any question. It's, but you have a price range, what they will reimburse you. And it's depending of what you are ready to pay. But I think it's nothing compare what you are paying in the US. Even if you are not covered, I have some clients who told me that even if they are not covered, it's still cheaper than in the US. Even when they are covered the US, they are paying less in France. So yeah, I'm quite confident that it's a good deal.
So we touched base a little bit on how we can get the residential and the residency visa and all of that. So I think maybe if anyone has more question on that, you can reach out to Delphine directly, and she can give you more information about that. We had a question for you, Manuel. Michael is asking, what's roughly real estate pricing in the Batignolles for 25 to 45 square meter? We lost your mic again, Manu. I don't know. Bad luck with the mic today.
Is it okay?
Okay. Perfect.
Sorry. So if you buy something in Batignolles right now, you have to pay a price between like 11 and 13,000 by square meter. But it's a price without like the notary fees of 8%, the renovation and the furnish. So you can just keep in mind around 15,000 with like everything included. So for a 40 square meter, it's around like between like 550,000 and 600,000, I guess. Depends the place in Batignolles, depends the opportunity, but like just to give you like an example.
Okay. To answer Anya, thank you, Manuel. Delphine will type her contact again, and I'll also drop it in the chat. We had a couple other questions. So I think, Delphine, that question might be for you. How much income do I need to show to receive a residency visa in France?
Wow. I knew that, but I forgot. I think it's it's about it's in comparison to the minimal, it's a bit more than what we call the minimum wage in France. But I am not sure of my answer, so I prefer to check, and you can send me an email, and I prefer to be sure to give the good answer, because I remember a number of 30,000, but I don't be sure. I have to check. I'm not sure.
No worries. Okay. I saw one more question. Oh yeah. How do I obtain private healthcare in France?
Private.
Do you need private healthcare in France, or you just use
It's recommended to have an additional private healthcare, like a mutual. Now, a mutual, when you are working in France, is an obligation. If the company has to provide you a mutual, it's an obligation. But then you have many people are taking even retired people. My parents have their own private healthcare. We don't say private healthcare insurance, we call it mutual. And you have every kind of prices. It's very a big market. You have different, but it's cover you what sometimes the healthcare insurance, social security system is paying 70% of a doctor bill, and the 30% can be covered by the mutual. So yeah, and then you have all type of insurance for foreign people. There are also company who are offering insurance when you are not French resident, and so there is also a possibility in France. I know some company who are doing that.
Sounds good. Thank you, Delphine. I saw we received earlier some questions for the school, for the preschool, the Batignolles. What's the typical hours of the school day?
So in France, the school day is from 8:30 until 4:30 p.m. Now here at Le Preschool, we remain open until 6 to offer the after-school care for families that need it. And also something to make note of about the school system in France is that a full-time school is actually only 4 days. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, with the intention that Wednesday is used as an extracurricular day for extracurricular activities. Now, for some parents, that works great. They can put their children into other kinds of activities, and for some, it's just not convenient. So us at Le Preschool Group, we remain open on Wednesdays as well to offer an actual 5-day full week. And just to go back, so the timings are from 8:30 until 4:30, and then you have an option for after school club.
Perfect.
Until 6.
You may have answered already, but what's the average of kids per grade?
So each class is maximum. We maximize the classes at 15. So as Cécile briefly touched on earlier in the call, a lot of public schools can go up to 25. Some even that I've known of up to 32. With one teacher present in the class at the time. Us here, we maximize at 15 with 2 teachers that are present in the class at all times.
Thank you. And we had a last question for you on what's the annual fee for the school?
Sure. So that completely depends on obviously what kind of program parents were opting for. So whether it was the standard 4 days or the 5 days, approximately based on this, it's somewhere between €1,700 and 2,000 per month. Again, based on what option you were to go for.
All right. It looks like we've answered all the questions today. I put in the general chat the contacts, and if you need any contacts, you can always email me or email any Frenchly email, and then my team will forward you the right contacts. All of this is recorded, so you can watch it again on YouTube, Facebook, and on Frenchly.us. So if you're watching this as a replay, all the contacts of the speakers of today are right below. So and again, we have right here the contact as well of the preschool right here in the chat. There we go. Thank you all for listening and staying until the end. I'll be looking forward to host another webinar soon on French-related topics. Have a lovely afternoon, and thank you for your time.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
very much. Bye.